Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Young and Restless just laid the groundwork for Dumas' party. To unleash total chaos back in Genoa City with a crisis here and a convenience there, Young and Restless has set the scene for a perfectly crafted plan or two to spiral wildly out of control at Dumas' party in France and unleash chaos back in Genoa City. As we all well know, Kyle signing a contract with Victor did absolutely nothing to deter the Black Knight from trying to ruin his relationship with Claire. Rather, it seems to have given him even more motivation to succeed at wrecking the romance. With Audra angling for an invite to Dumas' private party, Victor saw an opportunity, which is why he will give her what she wants. In return, he'll expect her to convince Kyle to accompany her to France, the perfect place to put into action her scheme to prove Jack's son unworthy of Claire. This is where the aforementioned crisis comes in. With Cole's medical misery, Young and Restless has created a situation where, should Kyle agree to go to nice with Audra, and you know he will eventually be convinced too, Claire will be unable to accompany him as his +1 because of her dad's dire circumstances, thanks to Nate conveniently being left out of the party picture as well, and having to hold down the fort at Winter's Inc. Audra will be free to work her wiles on Kyle and get the mustache, the result he's demanded, as a condition of financing her new cosmetics company, Vibrante. Thus, the groundwork has been laid for Audra to corner Kyle into a compromising position at the gathering. With Victor and a whole lot of other witnesses there to capture the moment, all it would take is a photograph of Audra and Kyle together, looking intimate, to create doubt in Claire's mind. She's already skeptical of his involvement with former partner and is well aware that they used to mix business with pleasure. So Kyle canoodling with his ex-lover while Claire sitting vigil at her ailing father's bedside will generate exactly the reaction Victor's hoping to provoke. Claire may end up heartbroken and angry, but how will it create total chaos? Well, if Claire shares this information with Nate, leaving her boyfriend out of the loop could backfire mightily on Audra, whose perfectly crafted plan could spiral wildly out of control and get her dumped. But that's not all. Claire and Nate may snap over the perceived betrayal of their significant others overseas, but the Abbotts will lose their minds when they find out Kyle signed a contract that requires him to leave Genoa City for good if he hurts Claire, and that the mustache intends to enforce it. Think of the implications given. That would mean Kyle taking Harrison away from Jack, Diane, and Summer's side of the family as well. Apparently, Victor isn't too attached to the little guy, but one would think Nikki would have some strong words for her husband for causing such immense upheaval, all in the name of protecting their granddaughter. And Victoria will go nuts. Young and Restless has perfectly laid the groundwork for Audra and Kyle to end up at Dumas' party without their significant others, where she'll be able to create the illusion that a betrayal has occurred. This will have huge consequences for him, his family, and his relationship with Claire. As for Audra, her big ambitions may backfire on her spectacularly if her plot spirals out of control. Something is happening on the Young and the Restless, and if you've been paying attention, you can feel it brewing in the shadows. For weeks now, Genoa City has been buzzing with whispers, tension, and that unmistakable soap opera scent of betrayal and revelation just waiting to explode. And now, it all seems to be heading toward one singular event: Aristotle Dumas' highly mysterious party. It's been marketed as a celebration, a show of power, a glamorous return to high society. But for those of us who know how Genoa City works, and who've seen what happens when secrets stack up like champagne flutes, we know the truth. This party is a powder keg, and Young and Restless just lit the fuse. This 3,000-word creativity dives into how the writers are methodically laying the groundwork for an unforgettable night, who's walking into danger without realizing it, and why this gathering may change Genoa City forever. Chapter 1. The invitation that started at a loot seemed harmless enough. A crisp ivory envelope with no return address. Just a wax seal stamped with a lion's head. The Dumas crest. Inside, an invitation to a private celebration at a luxurious estate just outside Genoa City, hosted by none other than Aristotle Dumas. Officially, the occasion is being framed as a philanthropic gala to benefit medical innovation. But nothing about Aristotle Dumas has ever been straightforward. When a man builds an empire in shadows, Nikki Newman warns in a recent episode, you don't trust the light he suddenly shines. Still, the elite RSVP'd, and not just out of curiosity, some are chasing opportunity, others vengeance. Chapter 2. Who's going, and why that spells TROUBLV. Guest list reads like a who's who of Genoa City's movers, shakers, and enemies. Victoria Newman still smarting from her short-lived romance with Dumas and the public fallout. She's attempting to reassert her power. But is she there to play nice, or burn it all down? Nate Hastings, formerly loyal to Newman, now subtly aligning with Dumas. He claims his motivations are medical, but whispers suggest he's got ambitions that go beyond biotech. Audra, Charles, a woman who never attends anything without an ulterior motive. She's likely got her own side deal or blackmail scheme ready to detonate mid-toast. Kyle Abbott newly unmoored. His invitation raises eyebrows. He says he's looking into business opportunities, but some suspect he's in over his head with Dumas already. Phyllis Summers' she wasn't on the original list, so of course she's going. Where there's danger, she quips, there's drama, and where there's drama, I'm usually 2 martinis ahead of it. Chapter 3. The Setup. A night where nothing is a CCID until everything about the lead up to this party has been meticulously staged. The show has devoted subtle, chilling detail to showing the scale and secrecy behind the event. Private security teams arriving in unmarked vans. Powerful NDAs distributed to staff and guests. A ban on cell phones, allegedly to protect VIP anonymity. Rumors that Dumas has acquired a controversial pharmaceutical company, one tied to a past Newman scandal. Dumas himself remains elusive, appearing only via encrypted messages or proxy assistance. The tension is building precisely because we don't know what he's planning, but we know it won't be benign. Chapter 4. Foreshadowing from the writer's every line. A WARNH Young and Restless has long mastered the art of foreshadowing, and recent episodes are full of breadcrumb dialogue that hints at disaster. Sharon. To Nick. You don't throw that much money at a party unless you're hiding something, or someone. Jack to Diane. Something about this Dumas guy doesn't sit right. The last time I ignored my gut, Jabot nearly crumbled. Tucker too, Ashley offhanded but chilling. It's not a party if someone doesn't end up in the hospital. We're not just being teased, we're being warned. This party is no mere social event. It's a trap, carefully laid and disguised. In Glitter, Chapter 5. Possible twists of the night. Could you and LASH so? What's going to happen at the party? Based on everything the show has set up so far, we can anticipate at least one, if not several, of the following high-impact reveals or catastrophes. 1. A shocking death or accidental overdose. The show has been hinting at illicit substances, volatile guests, and heightened tensions. A dramatic death, possibly of a legacy character, or a surprise. Returning face would send shockwaves and force reckonings. 2. Blackmail. Bumbshall. Imagine a staged video reveal. A massive screen, lighting up with surveillance footage or private confessions recorded at Newman Enterprises. Jabot or Dumas strikes best when he weaponizes truth. 3. A kidnapping or hostage situation. There's talk that the estate is rigged with lockdown features. What if the guests suddenly find themselves trapped? Who orchestrated it, and why? 4. Corporate coup. What if this whole event is a front to finalize the takeover of a major Genoa City institution? The merger or hostile buyout of Newman Media, perhaps, or a blindside against Jabot. 5. Someone isn't who they seem with so many new faces and backstories in play. This could be the moment where a long-running imposter plot is revealed. Is Dumas even who he says he is? And what of his assistant? Or, is a presumed dead character alive and among the guests? Chapter 6. Mariah, Devon, and the Collateral DAMG. Evan characters who aren't attending will be impacted. Mariah has been concerned about Sharon's strange connection to Dumas, and Devon recently received a confidential tip that Dumas' research division is experimenting with AI therapy software stolen from a Hamilton Winters pilot project. If that comes out publicly, or worse, gets proven, a legal and financial war could erupt between the families. Expect Mariah and Tessa to get dragged into ethical debates, Devon and Lily to fracture over how aggressively to fight, and Sharon to face her past in a way that's more literal and more threatening than she ever imagined. Chapter 7. Romance and Betrayal under the sweats. A soap party without a few makeouts in the moonlight, and betrayals behind silk curtains. Teased in spoilers, Nate and Audra may finally take their scheming to the next level, with someone or turn on each other, triggering a massive family fallout. Phyllis may discover something she wasn't supposed to see, something that puts her life in danger again. All of it plays out against the backdrop of opulence and danger. Picture it: candlelight, a string quartet, chilled champagne, a masked man slipping away just as a scream cuts through the air. Chapter 8. The morning after. Nothing will be the same. Perhaps the most exciting part of the groundwork being laid is that Young and Restless is building toward a major shift, not just a scandal, but a reconfiguration of alliances, power structures, and trust. After this party, expect Victor to go full predator again, scorched earth style, Jack to confront Kyle in ways that may finally fracture their bond, Audra to either be unmasked or ascend, Tucker to make a move that leaves Ashley stunned and possibly in danger, Dumas to reveal a true agenda that no one, not even the audience, saw coming. Chapter 9. Parallels to legendary Y and our EVNTS fans are. Comparing the slow build and impending drama of Dumas' party to some of Y&R's greatest moments, the Colleen Carlton Memorial Gala, where secrets shattered a room, Victor's masquerade ball, which ended with arrests and a medical emergency, and of course, the GCAC explosion arc, where a high society evening became a crime scene. The show is clearly taking notes from its history and using it to build something even bigger. Chapter 10. Final thoughts. A new era. Dumas' party isn't just a plot point, it's a threshold. It marks the beginning of a darker, riskier, and more daring chapter of The Young and the Restless, one where alliances bend, morality blurs, and the sins of the past resurface in the most glamorous and terrifying ways. It's not just a party, it's an ambush, it's a reckoning, and it's about to turn Genoa City upside down. Next week, on Y&R, Victoria wakes up in a stranger's bed with no memory of how she got there. Phyllis vanishes mid-speech, and no one knows if it's a trick or something much worse. The power cuts out and a single gunshot is heard. Dumas takes the stage, and the room freezes.